Hi, my name is Suzanne Schaefer, and I'm the instructional designer at the Penn State York campus. And I'm presenting with Dr. Samir Shah. And we are talking about innovative one-shots to build motivation and currency in a Gen Ed IST course. So I picked these two pictures just because they kind of symbolize some of the things that we've done in our collaborations together, and I'll let Dr. Shaw tell you a little bit about IST 110 and why he decided to invite me in to his course. So we were trying to think of a way to help IST 110 stay current and relevant without having to go through the redesign process every year, while still balancing content for majors and non-majors and the technical complexity. And so we came up with this idea of these one-shot deals of exposing students to new technologies like social networking, Second Life, and virtual worlds, clickers, webinar applications, and we got a multimedia studio, so some enhancements to the video projects that they used to do. And we used a very simple model. After deciding on the new technologies, we introduced the technology, do a short demo, give students some kind of active engagement using the technology, and then an assignment to use the technology later. And we really found a lot of benefits from this model for being able to give students new and very interesting ideas, helped keep the motivation high in the class. Students were actively engaged. It gave us a way to write for grants because it was a course-based innovation for us to stay motivated and updated with some new ed tech tools. So in this, the classroom really became the laboratory for innovation and exploration for both the students and the faculty. And I would just encourage everyone, if there's something you see out there that you feel has value, but maybe it's a little bit too technologically advanced, things are changing so fast. So I'd say just stick with it, because very soon that technology will probably be within your reach and very user-friendly. So we prepared some resources for later. We're going to go through the examples really quickly, so I know we can't capture everything. So we created a website. If you go to that site, it has our contact information, but then on the One Shots tab, it has, the examples that we use plus some other things we did. And if you just go drill down further into each one, I put together some resources for each one of those areas. So I know we won't be able to get to everything, so that material's all there. And we'll go through 3 examples that we did. We pulled those out because we thought they'd be interesting to people and maybe something new that you hadn't done before. So augmented reality with a 3D enhancement, gaming, and then Stanford University's design school crash course in innovation. So let's start with the augmented reality. If you haven't seen what it is before, it really is a combination of a webcam, some kind of trigger image that causes an augmentation to in video form to appear. And I'll just show a quick example. Okay, so I came to the computer knows to recognize that particular image, and it allows us to get that 3D image on the face of the moon. And you'll see if I rotate. So that's what it is in a nutshell. With the webcam recognizes the trigger image and then plays the video augmentation. And so we thought that was really a cool idea and had lots of applications for in the business world particularly. And so we wrote for a grant to get the Augmented Reality Development Labs tools, which they had more education-based things, so we were able then to bring that into class to do a demonstration. And you'll see in the picture, those paddles are the trigger images, and then this was a astronomy example. And when those paddles come into the webcam view, it knows to show Mars and the Earth, and you can see the relative difference in size, and then information pops up on the screen about the individual planets. So the experience really becomes augmented and enhanced. And so what we wanted students to try, they always had to do a video project of some kind of intersection of business, people, and technology, and so we thought this would be a nice little video project. So within the lab, students were able to connect to Google SketchUp, which was a free 3D modeling tool from Google, and it has a database. So students didn't have to know how to create the 3D models, although we did have a student who knew how to do that from an engineering course. They could just search the database, find an image that they wanted to use, and then with the free, actually, and available on their website, ARDL plugin, we were able to get some 3D augmentations that they could then video from within using the plugin, and could embed that within their video project. So that was a pretty cool little project from start to finish. And the whole goal is making the object come to life. And so, building on that, and just saying that, this is really the laboratory for us as well as for our students. The next project was on our art faculty on campus. I'll just show this as a quick example using the 3D.
So this is an example.
And
Enhanced or an augmented experience. And so if you iPad or iPhone and then place that in front of the image. So this is an example of a ceramic candle holder that I took about 25 shots from overhead view.
And so this was a new tool that really actually made this so user-friendly. Erasma is an augmented reality app that's now available that's free, and I combined that with another tool, 123D Catch, which allowed me to make the 3D render of the candle holder, and then those two together created this enhanced experience. And so for our art students, if they wanted to do an electronic art show, they could do that and make their sculptures come to life. We used the Erasma app, and you'll see that in a minute, had their artwork come alive using another app, which I'll show you here in a second. So you could really, at this point in time, using that 3D rendering tool, decide, how do you want your characters in whatever project you're doing. Do you want the live pictured? Would you like a 3D render? And I'll just show you this one real quick. Or would you like another tool which we used, which was called Telegami, and the background is the same character in the 3D render. You can put any background in there you want, but I'll show you this. It's an example of the Erasma altogether.
Hi. You can create a brand in lots of ways. Students can use 3D images, animation, or the real deal. It could be an interesting project and reflection. Try it out and let me know how it goes.
And so, that project really expanded into a lot of other tools, and could be some really interesting projects for students. So now I want to move into the gaming example, and I started with this picture. If anyone's heard Jane McGonigal speak from the Institute for the Future, you'll know what this picture represents. But this is the face of a student on the verge of an epic win. So imagine thousands of hours in preparation to try and win a particular level or particular game, and this student has just realized that he's about to conquer that challenge. And I laughed and thought, wouldn't it be nice to see this face right as the student realizes that he or she's just solved a calculus problem? How could we capture that enthusiasm? So, I was skeptical about gaming, which I know a lot of people are. Is it pandering to students, trying to entertain rather than teach? I was concerned about the technical aspects and how much money or time it might cost to develop, and so I had some hesitations. But as gaming was starting to pick up speed, we thought, this would be a really neat thing to try and integrate into the IST 110, and we wanted them to experience emerging technologies, and we could turn that into a paper-based game. And everything, it was great. I loved designing it. It was lots of fun. And then we presented the game, and nobody played it. So, I really had to go back to the drawing board and say, well, what was wrong? And so in the summer of 2012, I had the opportunity with a group of faculty to kind of explore gaming, what that means, and then I had planned a 2-week game to get them to integrate gaming into a course. But I really didn't think that anybody was going to play, and was I ever shocked? Because in 2 weeks, 6 faculty members viewed those game pages 1,350 times, with the most on any given day 204, which is a lot of engagement for 6 faculty members who are not paid during the summer. So it was an eye-opener for all of us, because it was a ton of fun. We learned a lot, and we really, really got into the game itself. So I just wanted to talk about what we kind of learned through that experience, that it was time to really re-examine some of the critical aspects of gaming. We went back to basics. What's a game? What does it mean to play? What makes something fun? And to get rid of the concept of having to have a full-blown game, which can take a lot of time, and go to something that's more game-like, and can we get that same experience? So creating an in-class activity and then going back and gamifying it, which for us meant to build in some problem solving, adding surprises, fun, and a playful spirit. And so we had some working definitions, that a game is a problem-solving activity, which right there gives you the rigor that you need, depending on the problem you've chosen, approached with a playful attitude. So that was a little bit more problematic to get our arms around. So play is a manipulation that indulges curiosity, and then we use the National Institute for Play's examples and definitions for the different categories of play, and we use those as we tried to think of how we could gamify some activities that we currently were using in our classes. And then the notion that something's fun if it's pleasurable, and then include some surprises. So, we were trying to change our mindset. So we explored our play history, what was play like at age 5, 10, 20, and now. We examined the role of surprise. We looked at those examples and types of play, and we used James Gee's principles of learning for games. And I included that website. We won't have time to go through all that, but this can be really useful. You could choose one of these principles as you're also thinking about trying to game. Okay, so the final model was take an activity and then go back and gamify it. And so I want to look at some examples of the IST game that crashed and some possible changes to see if that makes sense. So in the first iteration that was a disaster, we had different levels. Students could earn different point levels, and the highest points earned would win the game. To either go to investigate Second Life, to take a snapshot of yourself in Second Life, and then get a group together and take that picture. So for me, the challenge level wasn't exactly where maybe it should have been. I didn't see, there's not a lot of fun or a lot of play there. So in the revamped idea, I thought, oh, this could be used as an icebreaker.